Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's going to be a fun time. I got a special guest, Miesha Johnston, on today, and we're going to go into her. She just wrote a new book and kicked some ass in some multidimensional predators and some illness and targeting. And she's holding this awesome group that helps target individuals, starseeds, people that are ET contactees, come together and bring them out. And we wanted to share that with you guys and take some questions. So feel free to ask questions as we go. So, Miesha, tell us about your new book.
Okay, well, my book is called You Can Handle the Truth. And it is the third volume of 3 books that I wrote. The first book I've added to this one, okay, and actually the second group, I'm taking off that second book, okay. So I should say the second book, I'm not going to be having 2 books for sale anymore. I'm going to be having a little small, small books that people can read about all of my lab experiences. But this one takes in being born in an MK Ultra family, and all of the MK Ultra, the Monarch, the Secret Space Program, what they've done to me in the last. In my other book, it left off at 1999, 2000, and this one went on from there. So.
So what kind of things went on and that they did to you? Feel free to go into a bit of a skeletal system, and I'll go into more in depth. And also, we're going to be teaming up in the Psionic spirit world and taking care of things that want to suppress you and limit you and keep you from getting your voice out, because it activates a lot of people, and a lot of people benefiting from hearing it and understanding that they might be targeted, and that those headaches and stress and illnesses that you guys out there might be going through might be coming from some type of consciousness wanting to limit you.
Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely. Out of 14 groups that I have, within a month's time, at least over half of them we talk about targeting, because the whole thing about targeting is not only just one group of people. Targeting takes in the hybrids, people who are hybrids, because they know when we come in and they watch us. And if we stay quiet and we're underneath the wires, they don't seem to bother you. But the minute you start on your mission and start working towards your mission, then they rear their ugly heads and come after you. So that is one of the things. And of course, along with that, you have contacts. You have contact from your galactic family when you're a hybrid. So they want to know who it is that you have. So that comes in with the MyLab experience, where the MyLab will start taking you in the MyLab program to find out what ETs you're interacting with. What is that special about you? What are your psionic abilities? I'm an interfacer, and I interface with galactics, with different aliens as well. So that's part of what they were really interested in. It all goes back to my childhood and the childhood training, but just for answering that question, I just wanted to put that part up first, as for the reason for targeting. So, and then other people are targeted because they're in the MK Ultra program. So you've been in the MK Ultra program, you've been mind controlled, you've had altars. They don't want you to come out and do your mission and wake up to who you really are. This amazing, amazing beings who have these amazing abilities, amazing psionic abilities, and many psychic, abilities. And they don't want us to wake up to that either. And then the other part, of course, secret space program. So they go after the secret space program. That people come and start talking about their secret space program, or writing books, or being on radio shows, or being on podcasts, or being at conferences. So they come after them too. Then they have another targeted, and it appears to be that they're targeting mass areas now that they weren't doing before. And I do believe that some people just end up in those crosswires as well. They may not have the same kinds of targeting and psychotronic remote monitoring and remote weapons and such, but they are having things go on. People talk about feeling like they're getting talked to in their head. So the voice to skull, they're trying voice to skull everywhere, because the ultimate goal that they want is a transhumanism civilization. People who are controlled, people who are tapped into the matrix and are always going to be subservient and do what they're told, go do their job, do their thing, don't make waves, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, and then there are some people who've been targeted by Hollywood and by different aspects of Hollywood or the music industry. And that's because Hollywood actors and music industry have the money to hire the talent, the technology and all that do, and I don't call them talented, I should say, the people who have no scruples to be part of the targeting, be part of the psychotronic weaponry and stuff. So it's a huge, huge network. And Project Oblivion is connected to it, because Project Oblivion is the last and final project that we just found out in a hypnosis session myself with that I was doing for Olivia James. And so we found out all about that. And they're very upset because people are listening to us. We're not crazy in their eyes. Most people aren't thinking that we're not the unbelievable. And so they're listening to us. We're making more sense. The powers that be don't like that. And so we're doing more books. We're doing more conferences. There's lots of full disclosure kinds of conferences that are coming out, because people are fed up and we want to know the truth. So they're coming after people who are writing the books, or speaking the conferences, or doing the podcasts, or interviewed in the podcasts. And so it all connects together.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been targeted my whole life, so I understand that. And then using it, falling in love with it instead of hating it. I used to battle a lot and then learn psionic abilities to counter it. As I've gone into it, I've found out more of the truth and understanding behind it all, and how it works, and the core motivations of evil and the factions involved, and why they do what they do, how they operate, and then how evil steals abilities that don't earn them, and that can be like a rug you pull out from under them. And anything that enters your game, it gives you a challenge to get stronger, and then you can reach deep inside yourself to gain that. You've been granted the power to overcome any challenge you face, and then you emerge from this cocoon, and that strengthens you as you face what is holding you back, and then understanding at a deeper level, and then until it gets resolved and you see what works. And then more and more of these people, the people that are going through this, will be coming out with great wisdom on how to stop all this, and then find a solution so we can free humanity. So tell us about So you mentioned Project Oblivion. So what did you hear about from that?
More about Project Oblivion? Is that what you said?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, what's it about?
All right. Well, so Project Oblivion, well, I'll give you an example. Olivia, James, and I did a session with her. We went hunting. Now, Olivia has this very beautiful talent that she can remote view while she's hypnosis and theta state. So I get her deep. She goes, starts finding files. So many times in our sessions, we've had, a lot of, I don't know what we've had, 12 or 13 or something like that. She can go and look at files and look in them and read them and all of that. So she was in I had to go to a off-planet file for CIA or something important. I can't exactly remember what we were looking for, per se. And there, while she's looking, up pops the CIA agent. He comes in and he's saying, all of the things I just told you. He said that this is just not working for us anymore. This won't happen anymore. He said, it's going to stop. We're going to, punish you. And so basically that's Project Oblivion. So Project Oblivion is going to take in things like psychotronic weaponry, weaponry within to attack people's health, to attack their emotional, to attack their financial, to attack everything that they can think of to stop us. And then right after we had that session, within a month, I was at a UFO cruise conference where I was to speak, and I was pushed over. I was in my cabin. It was the night that I got on the ship, and I was unpacking, had my suitcase out. My roommate was in the bathroom at the time, and all of a sudden an energy from nowhere or somewhere just shoved me into the suitcase. And I knew if I fell into that suitcase, it was one of those hard plastic ones, that I would get hurt. So I twisted my body so that I would not fall into that. And long story short, I ended up really twitching my back. It hurt really bad, but the universe provides. That's the whole amazing thing about this. They can attack us, but our guides, our universe, universal assistants, helpers will provide. So I ended up finding that there was a acupuncture on board the ship. So I went to the acupuncture, which I never would ever have done because I don't like needles, but it was forced to, I had to. So I went to this acupuncture. Instead of going to a sauna, to a massage, I saw the acupuncture. And so he did a session on me, and then he would set me up for 2 more sessions. Not that next day, but the day after that, I had to speak in the morning. So I kind of took it easy that next day, was in the jacuzzi, giving myself some jacuzzi things. I did another session with him. And then on that, I guess it was Monday morning. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday, I was to speak at the conference. So I went over, was setting up, and the videographer, I asked him, could you give me a chair? Because I can't stand, and told him what happened. He said, oh, I have a really good back brace I can give you to use. So there we go. The universe provides. And I truly see this all the time. So I had that. So that was better for me. At that same conference, 3 other people, one person before he even got on the ship, the day of his departure, he got pushed or fell. He didn't really know what it was, and he wrecked his knee up, and he couldn't go on the conference. He was a speaker, and he couldn't go. And then another gal speaker, she got pushed, hurt, and had to be taken off the ship at one of the ports. And then another one was with a group of people, so they kind of helped break his fall so he did not fall so much. So they were really busy showing us what they were going to do. Not to mention the financial thing. Now, these cruises really are the people that come to the cruises, are, financially pretty well off. Okay. And they do a lot of doing readings and writing and buying books and things like that. But this particular conference, nobody came in our room. Nobody came into the book room, or the whatever we call it. Yeah. To the exhibit room. Nobody came in, and we were all talking about, this is crazy. Like, we were doing each other's readings because there was nobody else in there. And we might get a tiny little trickle right after a person stopped speaking, but within 5 minutes they were gone. So we were all just blown away because it was so ridiculously nothing was happening. So I think that they kind of virtually blocked that whole place, that whole way. So that happened, and then so that pretty much answers that. I think that answers.
Okay. So it's pressing grids on the Earth, projects that monitor people, and then they may be getting an input from timeline observers and time cops of Time Corps, etc., and then know when and what, and the spying network to see who's doing what, and then blowback and limiting their process. Okay.
Do you think that the ones that pushed us were something from a kind of a time traveler, or were they an entity? What would you say?
Here, describe the exact moment again. I'll lock into it, and I'll tell you what I tuned into.
The exact moment was, I had my back to the door, had my suitcase out this way. She was in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I was pushed from, it's like an energy just came behind me and pushed me. And I think it had to have come through the door, because I figured it had come through the door, because I was, had my back to the door. So what do you think?
Interesting. It's something I don't usually run into as a type of thing. What's that? What? Let me just make sure, because it's kind of reading as something weird. And wow. And let me just tune this into evidence base. When you felt a push, did it feel like a solid thing was pushing you, or like a force of energy?
No.
Or and where did it hit
like
you?
Like a big old wind that came in and forced me over.
So it hit you from multiple places? Like, did it hit your stomach area or your chest? Or
no, it just kind of felt like it just went whoosh, and it pushed me from the back. So it didn't feel like somebody like
okay, and this happened to your back?
Physical shove. It felt more like but it was physical too. It did have a physical aspect to it. Let me tune in to remember here. It was more like, when a big heavy wind comes to you from like a mountain.
Yeah, I got you.
And you can, it felt like that, but yet it felt like that. But then inside of it, it felt like there were more pressure that pushed more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, how close? Interesting. Anything else? Okay. It looks like you're getting sonically blasted, and there's the emanation point seems local. So I'm not getting cloaking, so it might be somebody that was in the room, and it's coming with human stuff, and there is likely at least awareness to make a outcome on the timeline. So it does look like there's some influence with future awareness that is going into it, whether that be in the individual doing it or some force influencing them to do it, or and they seem to know more than
Okay,
a regular person. So
the only person that was there was my roommate, and she was in the bathroom door with the door shut. In the bathroom with the door shut. And when
where is this in?
this
What
was
place?
this was in my cabin at the UFO cruise.
Oh, okay. Okay, at the cruise. Well, yeah, not like in the room with you, but like
on the cruise
ship.
On the cruise ship. Okay, yeah. In our cabin, she was in the bathroom, door shut, and I was unpacking my luggage, and I had my back mostly to the door, I should say, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I had my back to the door. I had my back to the bathroom too, but I know I would have heard her come open that door. I know it wasn't her. I'm positive it wasn't her. She's a friend.
What is this cruise, disclosure cruise? Was this like with the various speakers? I think I heard of this one. It was like Masajati and some other people were there speaking. Yeah. There's some powerful
Rihanna, what is his name?
Yeah, Rihanna was there.
Rihanna and Vivian Chavette and Stephen Bassett, and there were some powerful people there.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably being looked at then. So this is just me, so feel free to take it with a grain of salt. I'm reading it's coming from a humanoid of some type, local on the ship, and it seems like an energy blast in Psionic. So that, like, why that happens, I mean, there would have to be greater monitoring, timing, going on with that doesn't just happen. So what if you look at the events that transpired after that, maybe there's like a thing with that being on the timeline as like needed to happen to change an outcome. But feel free to let me know on that, what you think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Like it could have delayed you. It could have, all this.
Well, actually, it could have stopped
Adjustment Bureau.
Stopped me from speaking. My lecture was a lot about this book. Yes, because I'd already started writing this book, and this book mostly done. So, in fact, my talk was "You Can't Handle the Truth."
Right. Yeah, you definitely targeted. I've seen a lot of that. If you want, you can talk about some of your stories onto that, so people understand like what that kind of thing is like, and you'll probably trigger a bunch of people too. Okay. But yeah, they would probably not want you to talk. That probably would have, depending on what you would talk about, that might also go into details of what they were trying to stop you from doing. Maybe you were going to activate somebody on the timeline or whatever.
It's possible. I mean, the audience that I had that morning, they were like really told me that it was some of it was very new to them, and it woke up a lot of people who were not quite. At first they didn't understand. They asked lots of questions, and so I think maybe I might have been waking up some people they didn't want to wake up. I don't know.
So were the people that went on that cruise thing, how many of them were like people that didn't even know about the disclosure event and just went on a cruise versus who actually went to the cruise for that? Do you know anything about that in numbers?
Well, this was not a disclosure conference. It was called UFO Cruise Contact at Sea.
Oh boy. But like, so how many people showed up that you saw in the crowd based on that?
Oh, it was pretty small group though. It was like probably, well, if you put them all together, probably 100, maybe 85, maybe 85,
Okay.
possibly 100, but yeah.
So do you think that some people just went on that cruise that had no idea about the disclosure thing?
Well, people have to buy the UFO cruise conference, so that
Okay.
people just on the cruise would not have come, but they are able to come into the exhibit hall, but they're not able to go to any of the speakers. So
Okay,
yeah,
I was just wondering if they just
people
took
who
like
are
a whole
coming
bunch of
to
regular
learn.
Muggle people and
No, it
just did
wasn't.
an event with them.
No, but there were a few people who were brand new and just waking up. There were some people who were just waking up, and you never know. Maybe perhaps something they heard. They're
Right.
on their mission, because I do believe that everything is connected, and what we do affects other people. So,
Yeah, and then also to add to the possibilities, I've been like pushed before, and like could be like a spiritual being, an angel, a spirit, like good, bad, neutral. Could be there's demons that have been able to like drag people and choke them, and there's ETs. Some are out of phase and invisible, and they can do that, or of course psionically, locally, or like if it's a really big presence like a deity or something, that it can do an influence from a big distance.
Yeah. I mean, I got a feeling that it was an entity of some kind, but I don't know. I didn't. That was my feeling, because it was so unusual. It didn't feel like hands at all.
Yeah, and then that's also another way beings do telekinesis is with entities, is one of the methods. But
See, remote viewers can do that too. Remote viewers can push you.
yeah, sure.
Because
It could be that. That's a good idea.
I'm a remote viewer, so I know what they can do. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and you said there is something called Project Midnight Climax. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. So, being born into an MK Ultra family, I was trained in trauma all the way through, from 3 years old on. And at 9 years old, I was put into service. Now, service means that you are part of any kinds of thing other than, like, it can be a child in pornography, a child used in pedophilia, all these kinds of things. Put into service means put into service. So somebody makes some money off of you. So when I was older, and this was I was 18, not that much older, but at 18, I was put into what I call Project Midnight Climax. And it was, first of all, what they had to do is abduct girls. And so I was abducted from a college, actually, and I was taken for 7.5 months with no memory. So a man walked up to me in college. I'm just trying to make a little. It goes into great detail in the book. So I'm just going to say, and tricked me into going to a place for what I thought was going to be making money to be in a dream program. So when I went in, there were doctors and what I thought were not doctors and nurses, and they hooked me up. And what I found out later was the driving program. And the driving program is a program where they put you to sleep for days, weeks, even months at a time, and wake you up periodically to do what they're bidding, do whatever they want you to do. But in between, you're mind controlled, and you have all kinds of different what's the word? Electric shocks that also put you into your altars, because I already had altars built in when my psyche split when I was 3 years old, and at the asylum where they did all of the training on desensitization and water torture and deprivation and all these different, and of course electric shock. They had made that foundation. Okay, so then when I was 18, I was a pretty easy mark to grab. So they grabbed me, and what would have been at 18 an invisible marriage. I mean, not a marriage that shouldn't have happened. Okay, my family said right after, because I was at college on like the 7th, doing some open college. They were doing open college, open house, and so I was. That was on the 7th, and on the 4th, I don't know, 11th or 14th, I think it was, supposedly an altar, not me, but an altar called my parents and says, I'm getting married. I'm getting married to a Navy Marine corpsman. He is a hero, and he's going to be a doctor. So I said, put an ad in the paper. And then they received on the following month, on like about the 10th or 11th or 12th, something like that, an invite for my wedding on the 14th. And so that's like, and so my parents hurried up, got some, because it was not in the same town that they lived in. So they got there and they said, you can't get married. You don't know this man. How long have you known him? I've known him long enough. This attitude, kind of little snippy broad, was with them. And they said, my father said, I'm not walking you down the aisle. And she said, I don't care. I'll get my friends to walk me down the aisle. They're the ones that gave me my wedding dress. So that's what happened. And my parents were there at the wedding, fighting it all the way. And then we had a reception, and the very next day, I guess he took me off, we left out of state. And because they was trying to track me down, and found out that had happened. So when I was in that, so going back to when I went to sleep, I woke up 7.5 months later on a bus with a different last name. And I couldn't understand that at all, because I didn't remember the wedding. And I didn't remember I was married. And I don't remember Charlie, and I don't remember anything about anything. And I was being sent back home on the bus. And when I got to the bus station, my parents picked me up. I called them, and then they come pick me up. And they said, for the love of God, where have you been? We've been looking for you. We're everywhere. Where have you been? And I said, well, I came from Seattle, and I don't, oh no. And they also said, we haven't seen you since a wedding. I says, whose wedding? And they said, your wedding. I said, I didn't get married. Yes, you did. Of this conversation going on. They said, yes, you got married. And okay. So then they proceeded to tell me all about it. So during hypnosis, actually many years later, because up until then, I just thought I had some kind of crazy missing time. I got more information and found out that was Darlene. And Darlene was my altar that was put in when I was 3 years old in 1952. So, yeah. So that was that. So then they took me from the, oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a question?
Oh, no, go for it.
Okay. So then they took me to what I would say from there. They took me into training to be a beta slave, a sex slave. So with that, you're taught, and there was this, and now I'm in San Francisco. So, this is the crazy part. I was in Seattle when I woke up, but somewhere in between that, in 68, I was in San Francisco as well. So I think they took me back and forth between those places or whatever. But I was in San Francisco, and I was at I had a madam. In my mind, I thought she was like a person like Gloria Vanderbilt that's teaching you how to be a proper lady. And so we were taught and trained the ways to entertain very, very high dignitaries, presidents, politicians, lawyers, not lawyers, judges, all kinds of things like that. And so we had to learn how to eat right. We had to learn how to use our silverware. I mean, everything aspect of it. So I remember all of these different kinds of things, along with that amazing plan for the next slave and teaching us how to entertain and to please and to also do things that only sicko people like to do. Yeah, so that was Project Midnight Climax, and Project Midnight Climax was where they would bring in to us the kidnapped young women, people, and then put them behind mirrors where in rooms so that the mirrors would be recording them. And sometimes they had multiple girls, so that didn't look good, or sometimes there was children involved. There was all kinds of real sick stuff. There was animals. There was all kinds of sick stuff. So they now could blackmail them, and that's the blackmail program. Now, in the histories, what they talk about, they say that it was whores, but it wasn't whores. No, it wasn't prostitutes. It was women they had turned into prostitutes.
I'm sorry you went through that. Sounds like if for those out there that want some triggers to this, there's a show called Dollhouse.
Oh my God, Dollhouse is it. I have that is the show that people should watch. It triggered the hell out of me. Oh my gosh, it did.
You want to go into explaining some of the similarities you've seen in the show? I'm sure people.
Dollhouse, they would. Okay, so in Dollhouse, they'd pull us out of in this case a room. In Dollhouse, they were in this little under the floor place, but I think we had rooms. I don't think we were in cages. I think we had rooms. In fact, I have a picture of me in a room with a dog I don't even know or recognize, but which I could actually show that if I was ready to. Maybe I could show that.
Sure. Is it on your book or?
It is on my book. It is in my book.
Yeah, feel free to go through this. Here, go through the slides.
I'll go through the slides and then I'll get it. Okay, so so now this is not a colored picture. This is a black and white picture, but I do have dark hair. And there it is. Okay, so that's my graduation picture. Okay, and so then this is when, and of course, that's not only my graduation, that is the information about my marriage. I might even put that up there. There. My license, my marriage license. I took my last name off, but I left his name on. And he was a Navy Marine corpsman. I did do research on it about 10 years ago, and he was a hero. That's me. And then this is, oh my, whoops, what happened here? What did I do?
Find the slide and let me know when you got it.
I can't, I went full page here, so I can't. Oh, okay, you're doing it for me.
I can.
Oops. I am.
At the bottom, there should be a little.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Whoops. Now it's gone again.
Yeah, I'll show it.
There. Okay, there it is. There's a picture of me. So it was just another year after my graduation. Okay. So I graduated in, well, it was August or something in 67. And in 68, I turned 18. This is what I've now found out is a wig that she put on me, or I was wearing a wig, it looks like to me, now that I've gotten a really good picture of this and stuff. And so, yeah, so this was, I don't recognize this place, don't remember the dog. It's purple, like it's this bright purple. And to this day right now, I'm a purple addict. I love everything purple. So it's crazy.
Purple for me.
Purple freak, yes, I am. So anyway, yeah, so you can get rid of that picture if you want. So so that Project Midnight Climax, so they would so we were presidential models. Not necessarily do I have a memory of being with the president, but I do remember being part of a president's campaign, and I was what they called it, a Kelly girl or something like that. That I was part of a campaign with Robert Kennedy, and I was there the night at the. Now I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, the hotel where he was assassinated, supposedly by Sirhan Sirhan. Sirhan was a patsy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And what other similarities have you seen in the show Dollhouse for people that, or things?
Oh, okay. Yes,
just so people can get nice triggered,
Okay, well, the Dollhouse, they'll pull a girl out, and they will put her in with a man, somebody important, a politician, something important, somebody that they're spying on, and they'll put them in, and they'll be, jet setting wherever and things like that for a while until they find out the information they need to find out, or if it's a case where they have to they're designed to take somebody out, they take somebody out, or whatever. Or whatever it is, so that they can blackmail them and things like that. So they would just, take us on these different excursions and different, we pretend to be somebody else for weeks, months at a time. That's really all. That's really all I can remember. I mean, those are things that happened to me in my own life. And when I saw that, I went, "Oh, now I understand. Now I understand." But there was also, torture things they did to the women too. That was rough and stuff. But it's all how I saw it so many years ago. I don't really remember too much.
Gotcha. And with memory retrieval and memory systems, how do you think memory works, and how is remembering process for you?
Okay, I have to write down Dollhouse because that went completely out of my mind, and so I wanted.
I'll send you the link to get it.
Oh, okay.
Online.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again now that I am more awake, because that was like when it first came out. I don't know how old it was.
Like when you're finished, let me know. We'll do a show.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, all right. So, I'm sorry. Memory. Yeah, my memory's gone.
How do you think memory works in the bottom and body and the esoteric anatomy, and how is your remembering process and things?
Okay, well, for me, I don't have a memory. I have a really hard time with my memory. All through my life, I had no memories. Didn't remember anything. Didn't remember my childhood. I didn't remember school. I didn't remember anything like that. Only memory I had of was one trauma situation where I was being trauma-based torture and a few things like that, but no real positive memories. I don't remember anything much. Then when I was a teenager, I don't remember my graduation. I don't remember my prom. I got pictures of a prom and prom pictures, but I don't remember anything about them. So they were using me throughout this whole time. Um, and even through my marriage, I got married, was married for 20 years. I don't remember my sons, 2 sons I have. I don't remember their birth. I don't remember their first steps. I don't remember any of that. So my memory sucks. So you get, that's what happens. You know, they wipe when they want to wipe. I think with the aliens, if they want to wipe memories, they can take little parts out that you'll forget, but and I think when the, no, I shouldn't say that. Aliens have the ability to wipe the memories. We've learned how to wipe their memories from the aliens. I think that's where the technology came. We also learned from the paperclip scientists on how to wipe the memories. So I think it's called, this is a show that really triggered me. It's called Paycheck.
Oh, okay.
And in Paycheck, it's an old one. Paycheck with Ben Affleck, Aaron Eckhart, Uma Thurman. Really a very good show. And in that show, I'm going to give the whole show away if I say this, but I'm going to. That how they would open the brain and do surgeries in the brain and then close the brain back up, but it would wipe out a year at a time. So I think that's what they use, is the same kind of method.
Interesting. I've heard of and tuned into and the Vision Quest memory retrievals for different types of devices that alter screen memory, blocks, limits memory theft, memory destruction, which could be also memory wipe as a word, or amnesia barriers and various other blocks and limits. There seems to be an energy memory for energy. An energy for memory, remembering long-term memory. But how do you think the systems of memory works? It seems to utilize some aspects of the brain, maybe some electromagnetic fields, and then some other aspects with organs. What do you think based on your experience with it?
I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, sorry. Like, how do you think memory works? Just from what you've gleaned of the reality. Like, is it because some people have hydrocephalus, which is like their brain is liquid and they still function like normal people and they have memory and all this stuff. So it appears it's not just the brain.
Okay. Well, I think people remember have memory of trauma and memory of happiness, and somewhere in between you forget all the other stuff. So that's, and I say that because that might be the only thing that I have is memories of, is just really high points or really low points. And that's just me, and it's probably because of the programs I've been in. But how memory works, I guess that's about as much as I know about memory. Maybe
That's interesting that you said that, though. Because a lot of emotion is usually what people get a lot of remembering with, and even in the remembering process, we don't usually go for like, oh, what kind of toothpaste and the color toothbrush was I having on that spaceship, or whatever, and so like the big events. And usually in their unfoldment with emotion, it's very solidified and brings our attention. And sometimes the trauma is just compact in us and it wants to come out first.
yeah.
So, yeah, also, how's the remembering process been with you? You also do regressions, right?
Yes, I've done a lot of hypnosis sessions. I've done like 18 or 19 hypnosis sessions, actually 19 now I know, because I had a remote viewing one done from Olivia, and that was interesting. She remote viewed into my experience as well. So, but I found that if you have a trigger point that you can go to, a, a target that you can go to with anybody, whether they don't have memory or not, if you have a target that you can go to, then you get into that target. That person now realize now they're out of their conscious mind, they're in their subconscious, and then the soul consciousness, and then even the higher, the oversouls that are connected with all those lives and stuff. So we you can get a lot more information that way. And so what I would do is I'd bring out a particular situations, and then I'd look at them during the hypnosis session, during my hypnosis sessions, I should say, when I was being hypnotized, and I would look at it and I'd get more information from them. And if the information comes with emotion and like fear and crying and all of these energies and these emotional factions, then that's how you can tell that you're hitting an important part.
Good point. And do you like, because usually I'm doing vision quests when I do it in like, self-induced trance. And then like I'll feel some like rooms or places that could be a target have a lot more energy to them and light, and like they're drawing you to them, and sometimes it wants to do them in order. What is the typical sessions that you usually do are like, and what are some of the really fascinating things that have come out? Like, are like sometimes entities come out, like some things shift in the room, so the lights flicker, and some like the guy starts glowing and levitating off the couch. Like I've seen some things and heard some. Like, especially if you activate crazy dormant shit that like all these things are trying to suppress from being activated.
Okay, so and if you're referring to when I'm in a session and I'm doing a session for somebody else, or because I also remote view in while I'm
yours
doing
or theirs, whatever you want to
okay,
go.
or theirs. Okay, well, I'll kind of do a little both. All right, so when altars, okay, so I'll just go into an experience when I was trying to find out about my missing time that I'd had. It was the second part of missing time. So a year after that, I had another year of missing time that went into the 70s. Okay. I was called, I thought it was like a phone call, and it was like a fax machine, and it clicked me on, and said, go. And and I met Charles again, the ex-husband, shall we say. I met him because I did end up divorcing from him. So it was him I was supposed to meet at Bob's Big Boy, according to what I found out was the message on that call. And I went out and was missing there for another year. And during that time, I left in my car. Supposedly, we left together in my car, I guess. He didn't, I guess. I mean, that's my best recollection to it. Now, the strange stuff is in this hypnosis session, all I know is I ended up in San Francisco at the Bohemian Grove, and Hayden Ashbury, living there and stuff. So I couldn't figure out how I got there. So I'm in the car, and my memory is that there are two kids in the car with us that are younger, and they're going to Woodstock. So that's not San Francisco, that's New York. All right. So I end up in New York. And so long story short, I did hypnosis session to find out about that. and I woke up at MIT, and I just knew it was MIT. I couldn't tell you why I knew it. I just knew it. I think some memory came to me but I don't remember how I knew it was MIT. But I knew it was MIT. We were taken in the basement. I was taken in the basement. There were other women in chairs, like dentist chairs, and they hooked me up to a dentist chair, and they started this medication and stuff on us, and as well with lines in our arms. And then the next thing I know is I'm traveling through a portal, and this portal it's kind of a dark portal. It has dark brown colors, and I'm just traveling through it. And the next thing I know, I'm standing in what would seem to be 2035, 2040, something like that. I don't know the year, but it appears that it's maybe like 35 or 40. It's 20 years in advance, shall we say. And I'm seeing now this information that I'm supposed to retrieve. I'm supposed to retrieve information that will help make money. So I get information from, and I'm not sure how I do it, to tell you the truth, but it's like all this information is coming at me like in streams of like a remote view, and then streams of it. And it's like stocks that are doing well at that time, companies that are booming that time, even money and how money is, and cryptocurrency and all of that was already there. They didn't per se have cash. It was a cashless society by then. And then also even I was seeing newspapers that had sporting events. So what we were there for was to get the information to make somebody richer, so they'd know all of the future. So they knew the future. They knew what stocks to buy, what companies to be involved in, and Hollywood is also part of it. Hollywood was involved too, and big corporations of Hollywood and stuff like that. So it was like coming at me in every direction, but yet I was taking it all in, and I evidently brought it back somehow and gave it, and they siphoned it out of my brain or whatever. I don't know exactly how that happened, but that's the memory I have. And I know that what I was there for was to make the richer rich, along with the rest of the girls. We were all there doing the same thing. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what they were doing. I figured that was what they were doing, but.
Cool. And do you walk yourself through like self-hypnosis and then do memory retrievals on yourself? And what?
No, I don't.
What is that?
Okay. I don't do self-hypnosis.
But you help other people unlock their memories?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was somebody doing hypnosis for me when I got that information. Also, the Insider, Peter the Insider, heard of him? Okay. Well, he told me that I made a lot of money for MIT. And he said, you should be having a lot of money in your bank account because you made a lot of money for a lot of people at MIT. And I said, oh, really? I don't know anything about that. And that was, we were given black goo. He told me we were given black goo at that time, or some kind of goo. And evidently that was probably to help us time travel. And then he, he told me some other stuff too about my file and stuff like that.
Can you walk people through a little bit of kind of like the thing you do for memory recovery for people in their regression, and what are your services that you're offering to people if they want to get one?
Okay, well, So when I hypnotize people, I do like a 4 to 5 inductions. My very, very first induction is not always going to be that way, but not about 90% of the time, people come in with trauma of some kind, with people that are, it's people, places, or things that they have trauma about. So my very first induction is to relax them. And while in that relaxation method, we go into a cutting cords, canceling contracts. And so like if family members and such like that, we need to cancel contracts with, cut cords with. So I bring in archangels, their archangels, my archangels I use with Michael and Uriel and Gabrielle. So, and then I have them imagine or visualize all of this that I walk them through so that they can bring up those pulling out of the cords, because we're going to have the angels doing all that cord cutting and pulling, and then sending back to source, and then having the, shall we say that if the culprits are bad, they're going to be in an iron box. If they're not, they're going to be in a bubble. So if it's a parent or somebody like that, or a marriage or something, mostly they go in a bubble. But it's always up to the people. They want them in a iron box, they can. They want to blow them up, dissolve them, whatever they want to do to get rid of them. It's always up to the people. So I offer them the ways to do it. And then I have them look at their contracts. And you don't have to look at a specific amount of contracts. You could have 1 to 100,000, just you have one last revocation contract that helps you revocate the contract with that person, that place, that thing, or that experience. And so that's what I do. Also, if entities are attached with people who have had or have altars, we work on getting rid of the entities that are attached, because whenever altars are put into somebody, they bring in what I think is entities from another parallel existence, possibly when they themselves, like for instance, were a witch. Well, they bring that energy, that dark energy, and they bring it in and they attach it to that altar, because it's solidifies the altar and blocks you from getting into the altar a lot of times. So we do that as well. So then we go through the hypnosis, and we go through another induction, and then another induction. We give them an opportunity to go out and do past lives, because past lives are very important to what's happening in this lifetime. You can have illnesses, you can have pain, you can have phobias that are attached to those past parallel lives. And so we'll go to those. Also, the life that brought you to this life, the life between lives, and that's the life that you decided to be. I will come to Earth on this mission to assist and help and raise consciousness. So, I do that method as well, and then we just find out the answers. And I always have them write me a questionnaire with like about 8 questions and information. I go through it with them for about a half hour before, and so I want to get as much as we can out of that session. I do not like to take people into one place, look at it, and then that's it. I want them to find their answers as much as we can get. So people can find I call them multidimensional hypnosis sessions. I'm kind of have a shamanic kind of energy, because I remote view in and see what you're seeing. So I have the ability to, when somebody's someplace and that there's something that they're seeing but they don't want to talk about, I'll say, okay, so what else is in the room, or what else are you seeing, or is there any color, or whatever I'm seeing, I kind of dig out of them to find it themselves without telling them, absolutely not putting anything into their mind, no inputting. So that's what I do. And people can get a hold of me on my website, starseedawakening.org. And also I have a great deal that if people come to my support groups, which I have 14 of them in a month's time. And you can come to all of them for the one price. If they do a hypnosis, if they sign up to be a member, a subscribe member, they get a 7-day free trial to come and check out the groups. And after that 7 days, if they want to, they can use a 25% off on hypnosis sessions.
Nice.
And if it just one last thing, and if it is a yearly thing that they sign up for, they get all of their hypnosis sessions for 25%. If it's just the one, the monthly one, then they get their first one.
Nice. And like, how long are your sessions usually?
No less than 3 hours.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay. And what kind of memory inductions have you gone into with people, like ET, MyLab? There's also things I've heard into memory retrieval, as in dream, astral, temporal dilation, bilocations, past lives, DNA ancestry. Retrieval for the conscious mind of this life, subconscious, soul memory, ability, knowingness, integration. Oh, yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Pretty much all of it, so we find out what the ancestral, that's another very important thing, because sometimes ancestors have done things, your ancestors have done things that now maybe the dark side has now put a curse on them, so that all of your line will have such and such happen to them, or not, have curses for money or curses for pain or whatever they want to do. So there's those that we need to go through. Of course, integration is very important, but you cannot expect to integrate an altar immediately. Those are going to take a while. Ask people like Olivia. Hers are integrated, but it's taken a long time, and she still has come up with some ones too. She's had to integrate after that. So same thing with me. It took me a long time to integrate. That's why people need to understand that.
Can you talk a little bit about that? People don't really understand altar integration. I've been successful in certain regards, and I'm trying to refine the science. And different altars will have different things blocking the integration as well.
Sure.
What have you come across?
Okay. So let's say you've got a child altar that came in 1952, like mine. She's the oldest one, shall we say, and she's the one that took over for me as Miesha, the child. She was then took over for me as Darlene. So she has gone through all the rest of the altars being the psyche. They split the psyche, and so they can, once they split that psyche the first time when you're very young, they can then integrate these altars in you. Like I told you, how they can pull the energies from others. So your altars can be have different shall we say missions and jobs. So one's going to be a assassin, and one's going to be a spy, one's going to be the one who handles all of the ritual tortures. They'll pop in when there's ritual torture going on. One is going to be the sex slave, one that knows how to please the men. Another one's going to be different projects that they've been in. I've been in Project Barnstorm and Project oh gosh, I can't think of all the different kinds of little sub projects that they put in. So this one project is where they hunt us like animals, and we have to learn how to survive in the jungle, or in mine wasn't a jungle, but in like a forest and stuff like that, with nothing on except for your underwear. So and no shoes or anything. So all these altars have these jobs. Okay, so I have 82 altars. All right, but I only have 8 base altars. I call them base altars. So my brain has been compartmentalized into 8 sections, shall we say. We'll just put it that way. There's rooms, so there are little rooms, all right? And there's rooms within a room, within a room, within a room, within a room, within a room. And that is those floating altars that are now the ones that know how to load a gun, altar that knows how to shoot a gun, an altar that knows how to shoot a machine gun, an altar that knows how to hand-to-hand combat, an altar knows how to use a knife, an altar knows how to pick a lock. You know, all these little altars are connected in within all these integrated with not integrated with all these other altars. So you have one to two basic altars that know everything. Mine was Charlie. My one that knew everybody was Charlie, because Charlie was the one that I got married to. He was my handler. So they made an altar for him so that he would always be in charge. But Darlene also saw the other altars too. So there was 2 in my case that had the knowledge of all the other altars. Some of the altars are nothing more than well, actually, like I said, they're prostitutes or something like that. So shall we say, baby slaves. So they can access any, and of course, along with every altar, they have to put trauma in. So they got to put trauma in, and they have to, and usually I do believe that they put entities attachments in there too. So if it is like a trauma, for instance, it's a beta slave, they're going to put the entity that I remember of a big boa constrictor in a off planet in this big box with me dancing in this horrific sexual way. Gross.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's my entity. Every time I think of that, that's what I think of. Okay, so that's what they want, some kind of a trigger that every time that altar comes up, that and you trigger, that altar comes in, and that altar can just come in immediately. So I hope that I'm not really a technical person, to be honest with you. I'm on the spectrum. I'm dyslexic. It's hard for me to put this brain in action. You know, I'm wired
Oh,
different.
you're
So
doing great.
I hope people can understand my very simple analogy of how altars are made.
Yeah, yeah,
If
absolutely.
you have any
Yeah,
questions, I'll be happy to answer them, because I do better with questions.
yeah, yeah. You're doing great, and this is great information. Will help a lot of people into the altars and your experience. I found, and I do similar in the vision work, and then go within doors, and a lot of distractions as in a maze. Uh,
Here it is.
and I find there's different methods people have made, and it's really interesting to hear the different ones. What I've found, there's the big thing with altars to look in gold in the target of why even do this. There's a gold treasure chest of abilities, knowledge, memory, and capability when you get to at least the full integration of what is the treasure chest. So what, and it wanted me to, I looked at different words and concepts of what to focus on with that, and it wanted me to focus on activation. So what do you know about alter activation, as well as the triggers that like bring them into the forefront of bring them
Al-
into the light?
Okay, so alter activations it can be colors, it can be words, it can be music, it can be names. Um, a lot of people, including myself, have altars attached to the Yellow Brick Road to Wizard of Oz, and to also other Disney kind of things. So Disney's are really big in this. They are part of these triggers, and these altars are put into place. So that altar may think that is this fairy princess. It is a, I mean, I had one altar who really thought she was a flying fairy. And she was connected to aliens as well. She was waiting for aliens to come and rescue her. So there's that. So you just have all these different connections. Did I answer that? Let me see. Maybe more to it. Yeah, other triggers. Okay, so triggers. Yeah. So then a trigger can be a word, a whole concept of words. A trigger can, like I said, be a color. It can be a color. And when I'm working with people, now this was I used to do in the beginning, but not every time. But there's also a code that comes in when you have to unlock an altar and you want to integrate that altar. They have a code. They've been given some kind of a code, a passcode. It's otherwise that whole thing is locked in a box in your head, and you've got to have that code to get it out. So the code can sometimes be numbers. It can sometimes be names or words. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Nice. Yeah, and what do you think of the concept that I also dream of, where we understand and bring publicly out the understanding in science and psionics of this, to where people can get really advanced in it and then take the whole tree of altars they have inside them and then bring it under their control and bring it to its optimal state of what they prefer?
Okay, so I do believe that people can do that, but people who know them and know that they've done it or assisted them or anything, you have to watch very carefully, because if you still see altars coming out, if you still see these triggers happening, then it's not complete. They need more work on it. Okay. But yes, you can take all of those altars and put them into that part now that is Miesha. And that's what I've done. And we act as a unit together. Yeah, we act as a unit together now. I don't have times where any of my altars come out. Yeah, so I'm all integrated. The last integration I had to do was with Charlie, and that was a very interesting one, because that one was the most emotional of any of them. And I almost think that parts of this Charlie person that was my husband and that was my handler for those 4 years was a victim himself, because he apologized and cried and cried and cried and cried. Okay, understand it was me that doing the crying and everything, but it was the altar, Charlie, that was the last one that was being integrated. And he cried and cried for a couple, 3 hours.
And he accepted that he was part of this and knows more on it now? Or does he not remember or acknowledge it?
Oh, you mean the real Charlie? Oh,
Yeah.
no, the real Charlie is passed on, supposedly.
Oh.
I found him, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. I found him on Facebook, and I went, oh my God, he's real. And that's what he looks like as an old guy. Oh, how about that? That's very interesting. And then within maybe 2 weeks, I went back, because I said, oh, I didn't take some pictures, and I want to find out some things. I want to take pictures of my camera and get some information. He had died. or they said he had died and they closed the site. That they said that he had deceased and we were very sorry. He was a war hero and we're sorry for the family's loss and he's dead.
Oh. So you're talking about an altar that reaches into others' minds and connects with them, the other physical body?
Oh,
That's
no,
interesting.
that was Charlie. That was Charlie, who was the one that I got married to.
Right.
They also produced a Charlie
Yeah, right.
in me. Okay.
And they're connected, right?
And they're connected. Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
I do believe that I truly have sometimes, I believe, because he was this great person in Vietnam and had saved people and saved people's lives, it's quite possibly he was used as an altar. I mean, used, as well, and had a handler himself. I do know there was one time when I woke up during the kidnapping, shall we say, when I was taken from the college, and I woke up in a hotel room and I could hear him talking to somebody in the other room, and I could actually see that person. He was a man in a black suit, and he said to him, "Get her there, and when you're supposed to be there." And he said, "Don't I always get them there on time?" So I don't know. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. So.
Nice. Very interesting life you're living. Can you tell us a little bit about your book and what's in it for people that want, the subjects, so that people know what they're going to be buying? And then also, can you talk a little bit about the group, because it is a powerful group that I'm also sometimes in it, and I sometimes teach Psionic, so look out for the group and come join. It's growing. It's getting really powerful, very helpful for people that are targeted and going into their Psionic abilities and why they're abducted starseeds and ET experiencers. So come and join the group. So that I believe the links are in our description, or the YouTube video at least.
Yeah.
So go ahead into your book.
Okay. So the book starts with being born into the MK Ultra family. My father was my handler, and he was also mind controlled. He'd been in the I'm going to see if I can get that picture up here. So he'd been born into a Rosicrucian. There was Masons on my mother's side, 33rd degree Master Mason, and I was a Job's daughter. So I was, my father started my handling at 3 years old. He himself, like I said, I do believe was handled, because there's one picture of him, two pictures of him as a child, one with his sister, another one with his, can you bring that, make it bigger so nobody can see it? That would be great. Thank you. Whoops. Gone. It's gone.
Yeah, wait, do you want people to see it yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I haven't found the picture yet. And so, but it's not moving here.
No.
Okay. So,
I thought you had it.
No, I didn't have it.
Oh, there.
Now I have it.
Okay.
Do I have it? Shit. There.
No,
okay. Okay. All right. So my father. Okay. So my father and his brother were both part of it. I know 100%. There was one picture of my father when he was a little boy, and then that he now probably say about 4 years old, and he had long ringlets and was wearing a dress. So that told me that there was some kind of sick shit going on for sure with my father. And my father was very manic. He had outbursts. He was really psychologically messed up. He was a rageaholic, and he was also so with the Rosicrucian, and I'm not saying all Rosicrucians, all Masons are bad, but it was black magician stuff. Aleister Crowley was part of the training program as well. So that's him in his magic gear. So who's also a stage magician as well.
Very interesting. Okay.
In the Great London Go Show. is what it was called. And he took my siblings. Oh, I lost it right there. He took my
Did you
siblings.
want it up? Okay.
Yeah, I did. He took my siblings to be his assistants, and I was from a family of 10 kids, and out of the 10 kids, only 5 survived when they were children. They didn't live past 2 years old, except for one,
I'm
and
sorry.
then the other 5. So there was something strange going on. I knew, I know that exactly. This was his magic show. It was an illusionist. He was he also like it was very dark, dark and ghosts and scary stuff. And this is my 2 siblings, right? This one, and this one. They were all his assistants, and he took these 2 on the road while they were still in high school, and they ended up running away from school, running away from home to try to get away from him. So there was a lot of creepy stuff going on the road. My Oh yeah, and he was, he was a hypnotist that would make people levitate, fire would jump. He was quite the magician. Now this was his brother. His brother ended up being um, it was called Fountain of the World. It was a Krishna Benta was his name, and he was a cult leader. And I know this was a CIA thing that they brought in, and I know for sure it was because he was assassinated 10 years after he started his cult by men in black suits that came in with a briefcase. And then also that Charles Manson fashioned himself after my uncle. And my uncle also felt that in his mind, he thought he was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. So some crazy,
There's a lot of those going around.
a lot of crazy stuff going on there. So that's the last picture there. Now you can get rid of that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, the groups, and feel free to plug. Thank you for coming on. Feel free to plug your information on how people can reach you and all that.
Okay, so my groups. So I have, I would love to have my calendar out, but I didn't get out in time. I have a calendar on my website. If you go to the website, this is Starseed Awakening, and you just sign up for the virtual support groups. They are virtual support groups. They are private. They are never recorded. You can be safe and feel safe there. I do it in such a way so that everybody is on the screen at the same time. You do need to have an audio and a video. You don't have to have a video, but if you're coming to the group for a while, we do expect you to show your image because this is how I, in the past, got snuck up on with trolls. So I just do have some rules, and those are important to have. And we go around, everybody asks, and I have a groups of questions for you to answer if you don't have something to talk about. If you have your experiences to talk about, then you can talk about it. But if you don't, I have groups of questions so that your cat is really having a fit. I'm trying to
sorry.
that's okay. Trying to talk over that cat. So so then people can come to all different kinds of groups. So I have groups. My first group of the month is a galactic light language, automatic writing, where it's how to initiate contact with the galactic so that you can become more psychic. You can become more connected to your higher dimensionals and your higher self to activate your chakras and get more connected and to your galactic and to your protectors, because everybody comes in this planet with protectors. You have 3 to 4 protectors, guides, galactics, angelics. We connect with all of those in that group. And then I have a group that is for ET experiences, all types of everything from positive ET experience to draconian negative ET experiences and the MyLab experiences, is that type of thing. Then every Sunday I have a 12 o'clock group that is for people from Europe that they can come. So because it's not as late there, and I would even make it earlier if I got enough European people interested, but it seems that there's not a large audience over there as much as there is in America. They're waking up, but it's a little slow. They're a little behind us, according to what I've talked to with the podcasters over there. So then I have a group that is for hybrids, hybrid experiencers, and are you a hybrid? And all the characteristics that make up a hybrid, and how it is to live as a hybrid, and how you can survive as a hybrid, and how you can excel and do your mission as a hybrid. And then I have a group for veterans, like Vietnam veterans and other war veterans, because we find out that the CIA has done some really crazy stuff to put people in these programs in the military, and you don't have memories of it. It might have been when you went and took those shots that you ended up. I have one particular guy who talks about how after he took a shot, they said, you need to go in that room in there. He went in the room, sit down, and the guy said, hey, do you want to serve your country in space? And so he did. But then when he came back from space, when he got from his 20 and back, they wiped his memory and said to him, no, it doesn't appear that you're a right fit for us. So goodbye, have a good day. So this kind of thing, if it did with one person, or well, actually it's three people I've heard now, it's with probably lots more. So that's my veteran group. And then we go into secret space program and all of that. And then I have a group that's for SRA, people who are going through satanic ritual abuse, because one of the things that they solidify altars is with satanic ritual abuse. That's where the entities are brought into it. So we have that, and trafficking, and all those aspects of the Monarch program. And then I have a group that is for spirit star seeds, people who are just waking up, just barely waking up, and they need to find out. And I have a group for people who are targeted. Now, within these groups, like I told you, you can hear where a lot of those groups can have targeting going on that. You can hear about things from hybrids, things from ET experiencers, things from of course, from the PTSD and the veterans group, and things, of course, from the SRA. And then you've got the targeted group. And after the targeted group, I have my new group, which you have been part of and have been a host of. And that is the Next Generation Millennial and Gen Z group, for those who are in the millennials and Gen Zs, to talk to people of their own people of their own age and their own peers. And then I have extra groups like a MyLab, Deep Underground Military Boost, Love Bites, Trauma Bonding, and Soul Mates. So those are the groups. And you can, like I said, just go to my website and go online. You can see all the groups and when I have them, because I have some of them early and some of them I have later. And then I also do readings for people to find out what the galactic planets of origin are. My galactic had me write this book to show people that there are so many different types of, you can't really say it, different types of ETs, different types other than just humans, reptilians. And then the back of it has a chart, so you can do readings for your family. I also have my oracle cards that
I got one. ET Experiencer Oracle Deck, The Unimaginable.
Yeah, those cards.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, they're really pretty cards. I don't have any in here right now to show you. Oh yes, I do. I'll just show you a few of them. And they're beautiful oracle cards, and they're very good. A lot of people use them to read for other people. So That one's like a ritual card. There's all kinds of cards. Oh God, they have pictures. So, yeah. So those are my oral cards, and I do readings with those, and galactic readings as well together. And so you can find out what your missions are, what your experiences are, and oh, and then of course this book I told you already about.
Right.
So,
any other events you're planning on doing? And
oh well, because of the okay, so they gave me. I'm going to just do a little fast thing here. This was I put this into the editing stage in first part of this year in February, and then I was attacked in February, and by March I'd had anemia. I was bleeding internally. They put a hole in my colon, gave me stage 3 cancer of the colon, and I had to go into the hospital because I was anemic. My doctor said if you don't go in, you're going to die. To get blood transfusions, so I had those. I was in there for 11 days, and finally, they did a surgery on me after my my levels got up, and we found out, yeah, that there's a hole in my colon that was bleeding, so that I did 100% know that I was attacked psychotronically to stop me from getting the book out and everything else I do. But you know what? That didn't happen. And I'm not going to, and it's not happening. And I am in a beautiful, healthy protocol, and I feel better than I have felt in years. So,
I'm so
my
glad.
lesson was to learn how to live with cancer and whip its butt. And I do believe I've done that.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, miracle cures will go into the lesson. Wonderful. Thank you so much for having you on. And Miesha will also be doing a show with Isa tomorrow, so tune into that around the same time. So, and yeah, I look forward to seeing that myself. And yeah,
No
Sean
questions?
Bond, go ahead.
They don't have any questions, huh? Okay. Well,
Well,
Lisa,
they're chatting up a storm, but I'll
no
next time
question.
I'll ask them for
Okay.
specifically for questions. But
Okay.
we went in deep pretty good.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I do
I
have
do.
to.
I'm very thorough when I talk about these things.
Oh yeah, we got a lot. We can keep going deep. We'll have you on again, and we'll promote more of your stuff. And yeah, and yeah, go see Miesha for regression. I'm gonna try to get one as well, and I'll let you know how it goes. And yeah, I'm Sean Bond, founder of SonicLeague, SonicLeague.com. You can reach me for sessions in the services, consultation, clearing, healing, depossession, unlock your dormant abilities, memory retrieval, abundance, etc. And we've got workshops, and you can send me at sonicleague@gmail.com a trip inquiry if you're interested in the Mexico trips or the sacred trips of different places around the world. And the various alien artifacts, things that are being discovered that you guys can be a part of a disclosure. And you guys can reach me with if you want to come on for an interview or have me on or whatever. And you know, whatever trades you guys want to go into, if you want to trade abilities. And I'll be on right after this one. I'm going on Rob's show on Typical Skeptic. So go right over to Typical Skeptic after this when you're done. But yeah, show Miesha some love and join in the groups because I'll be on. Yeah,
And
sure.
just one other thing. I do hypnosis and I do these reading over the Zoom, so you get a recording. So I just want people to know. They don't
Nice.
have
Yeah.
to be in person.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your regressions and sessions. And yeah, smash that like, subscribe, show Miesha some love in the comments, get us up the YouTube algorithm, and share this with a bunch of people, especially people you want to trigger into the whole concepts and the altars and all that to bring it out. And yeah, anything else you want to leave people with, and then we'll head out. Words of wisdom.
You know what? You are amazing beings living this lifetime. They didn't, you know, we don't send slouches or anything like that. The people that are here, awake, doing the mission, doing their missions, helping this planet, are very powerful, strong people, or they wouldn't be targeting you. They are targeting you because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of you. So stand in your power at every turn. Realize that you have the ability to stop the targeting. I've done it. I used to be targeted all the time. Yeah, they can do this thing now and then, but I mean, as far as like a daily targeting and everything like that, I just let my guard down. And we are so amazing people. Understand that. Okay. Thank you. I love you.
Yeah, love you all. Thank you. This was powerful. And yeah, you are more powerful than it. That's why they target you, because they don't earn it. So yeah, come on over to the Typical Skeptic podcast. We do abundance readings and release the blocks off you so you can manifest your dreams and support yourself. Get out of survival and thrival. See you guys there. Come on over and show her some love. Show some shares to this video. The more we see, we'll do more shows with Miesha. See you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.